So let me start by explaining that the title to this video is absolutely not clickbait. So today I'm going to explain huge changes to 401ks in a bombshell move that could see your retirement savings absolutely skyrocket. Donald Trump is about to drop the biggest financial bombshell since the Tax Cuts and the Jobs Act. And let's face it, it could radically change your retirement. So, behind closed doors in Washington, Trump's inner circle is finalizing an executive order that could very well unlock your 401k, wait for this, to the private market. Now, that would give you access to hedge funds, private equity, real estate, and venture capital for the first time ever. That's right, your retirement account, which has always been limited to those safe investments like stocks and bonds, may soon be allowed to swim with the financial sharks. So if this goes through, it'll open the gates to $12.5 trillion in retirement savings. And of course, Wall Street is just frothing at the mouth. So imagine your 401k suddenly invested in the next Uber before it goes public, or maybe in exclusive hedge fund strategies that were once reserved for billionaires. But here's the twist, and guess what? There's always a twist. So, what sounds like a dream to some could quickly become a nightmare for others. Because while this move promises sky high growth potential, well, it also carries the kind of risk that could wipe out decades of savings. Now, this isn't a drill. This executive order will be signed any day now. And the question isn't if it will change your retirement future, but the question is, will you be ready when it does? So, just before we take a deep dive, as always, it's imperative you hit that like button and subscribe so that you get notified the minute we produce another game changing video that affects your finances. And I promise you guys, you'll appreciate it. So, buckle up because this ride's about to get wild. So let's cut straight to what's happening now. So, according to the Wall Street Journal, Trump is weighing an executive order that would direct the Department of Labor to work hand in hand with the Securities and Exchange Commission to create new guidance. Guidance that would allow employers and 401k plan administrators to invest your retirement funds in private markets. Now, this means the traditional boring portfolio of index funds and target date mutual funds might soon be replaced or even augmented by venture capital, hedge funds, and private real estate projects. Now, this will be a complete, and I mean complete, paradigm shift. So, for decades, these types of investments were off limits to the average Americans who were saving for retirement because they were considered too risky, too opaque, and more importantly, too inaccessible. But Trump's plan would blow open the doors and it would give average savers access to the same vehicles that institutional investors and ultra wealthy families have used to build generational wealth. So make no mistake, this isn't some small policy tweak. This is a massive structural realignment of what your retirement could very well look like. So do me a favor, if you're finding this video insightful, welcome to the Financial Freedom Network, where we break down the policies that affect your money before they make the headlines. So do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and your future self will thank you. Plus, it helps push this crucial information out to more people who truly need it. So the question is, who's cheering this all on? And the answer is pretty obvious. The private equity industry, loudly. Now, these firms have been lobbying hard for access to the $12.5 trillion that are just sitting there in America's 401ks. And now it looks like their patience may finally be paying off. So Brian Corbett, the CEO of the Managed Funds Association, says this is about democratizing opportunity. He announced the following: expanding access to alternative investments in 401k retirement plans will provide more Americans with the diversification and investment options that are needed to build wealth and save for successful retirement. Wow, that sounds great. Now, to be fair, private equity has historically outperformed public markets, particularly in periods of volatility like now. So there's real potential here. So, for example, if your 401k had been allowed to invest in, say, pre IPO companies like Airbnb, Stripe, or even SpaceX, well, guess what? Your returns could have skyrocketed. But here's where the celebration stops and the warnings begin. So here's what they're not putting in the headline. Private market investments come with steep risks. So, unlike public stocks, these assets are illiquid, they're less transparent, and they typically come with long lockup periods, meaning that your money could be tied up for years. And then, of course, I hate to say it, but there are the fees. So private equity firms often charge 2 and 20, meaning 2% annual management fees and 20% of the profits. Now, that's a lot of hands in your retirement cookie jar. And even worse, if the retirement investments underperform or fail, well, guess what? You're on the hook. No FDIC insurance and no easy exits. So plan administrators are already voicing concern, and legal experts warn this move could open the floodgates to lawsuits, especially if portfolios crash or people don't fully understand what they're investing in. And don't think this is something that you'll get to vote on, because this executive order could be enacted without Congress, without hearings, and even without public debate. One stroke of the pen and boom, your 401k may never look the same again. So where do we go from here? Well, Trump's executive order is expected soon, but the final text is still locked down behind closed doors. That means we don't yet know. Questions like, will there be limits on how much of your 401k can go into these riskier assets? Will there be disclosures or fee caps? Will small employers be able to shield themselves from lawsuits? And most importantly, will you be forced into these investments or will it be voluntary? Now, this is the kind of change that doesn't just reshape policy, it reshapes people's lives. It redefines what it means to retire in America. So do me a favor, guys, stay alert, stay informed, and stay tuned, because this could very well be the most important financial decision of your lifetime, and you won't even have a say in it. So make sure to subscribe right now so you don't miss our next videos where we break down exactly how to protect yourself if this policy goes through. And tell me in the comments, would you roll the dice with your 401k in exchange for higher returns? Or do you think this is a Wall Street trap in disguise? Let's open this up to debate. I'll be responding to the best comments below, so please add them. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sharp, stay free, and never let your future be decided without you knowing anything about it. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.